Hey guys, welcome to Gunpla News episode 28 for March 2017. This is going to be another LITE episode. So when I occasionally do these LITE episodes, basically what that means is that instead of doing Gunpla News as 5 separate parts like I normally do, I'm just going to do one video just all in one go. And for a couple reasons this month. One reason just because I'm doing this month's episode later than usual. I usually try to get it done in like the first week of the month. I'm doing it later this month because I was waiting for any news that we were going to get out of the Hakodate Gunpla Expo that has been going on recently. There's been Gunpla Expo going on in Japan, and we were supposed to be getting a lot of news out of there, but we ended up not really getting all that much news out of there at all. So just because I'm getting to this episode a little bit later than usual, and because we really didn't get all that much in terms of new announcements, I'm just gonna give you guys a shortened version. This video is probably still gonna be relatively long because I still have like some stuff to go through, but I'm just gonna do it all in one video this month. So we're gonna start off with some news, and the first thing I want to talk about is related to my custom Zaku contest that I have ongoing. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check out my video where I introduced the contest and showed what the prizes are and showed you guys how to win. Basically, you guys are building your custom Zakus out there, and so far I've had around 230 people enter that they're working on their custom Zakus. So far, only about 10 have submitted their finished projects so far. You still have less than a month. You have about 4 weeks or less to finish that. So hopefully you guys are getting into the final stages of your projects. Once again, the deadline for that is April 6th. So if you have submitted your entry, then hopefully you guys are working on that, and I'll start seeing more of your guys' finished products coming in over the next couple weeks. And then after April 6th, I'll announce the winners for that. So again, we got some really huge prizes for that, giving away a perfect grade strike, a couple of really huge master grade kits, and then some other stuff there as well. So definitely hope you guys are working hard on that. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have come up with. Already seen some really cool entries so far. So looking forward to that. The other big point of news this month was that on the same day, I believe, that they started taking down the 1:1 scale Gundam, the RX-782 Gundam in Japan at Gundam Front Tokyo. They announced that later this year, in the fall, they will have a new 1:1 scale Gundam, and it's going to be the Unicorn Gundam. So that's really cool. From the sample images that they showed us, it's going to be in destroy mode. My question was, is it going to transform? And after talking with after talking with the Gunpla Talk guys about this, we came to the conclusion that it's probably not going to transform, simply because I think most of the transformation wouldn't be that hard for them to do. The most difficult point would be the ankles. The whole mobile suit has to basically raise up on the ankles as the ankles rotate from unicorn mode to destroy mode, and that's raising like the whole weight of the entire Gundam up on like the one point there on the ankles, and I think that would just be too hard for them to do. Just in terms of the engineering for that, it would take some serious lifting power there. So I'm guessing it's probably just going to stay in destroy mode. But still, it's really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. I love the Unicorn Gundam. And as cool as it would be to be able to see it in Unicorn mode, destroy mode is not too bad either. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to have all the lights for the cycle frame and all of that. And it's going to be really cool. And I'm sure we're going to be getting a whole mess of new Unicorn kits coming out. Either Bandai's going to continue to milk the HD and Master Grade Unicorn kits that we've already had, or maybe could see a real grade Unicorn. I know a lot of people have really been pining for a real grade Unicorn. I think that'd probably be really complicated and messy, but it could be cool. Or maybe revive HD Unicorn. The HD Unicorn is not that bad, but some people do have some complaints about it. It does have some kind of loose parts and stuff, so or who knows, we already have a PG, so I don't know, but I'm sure there'll probably be like a version GFT perfect grade Unicorn or something like that that'll be coming out at that time. So I don't know, we'll have to see. It's exciting to wait and see what's going to be coming out. One thing that I would love to see come out is more HGUC kits from the Gundam Unicorn OVA. There was a lot of, especially like when we saw some of like the Zeon Remnants mobile suits, there was a lot of those Zeon Remnants mobile suits that we just don't have in HGUC form, or any form for that matter. So it'd be great to see some of those coming out in HGUC, but you know, who knows? We'll have to see. It would also be a great time to, if they ever are going to get around to making, like, for example, an RE100 Kshatriya. It's another thing that a lot of people are really waiting for. It'd be a great time to release that in to coincide with the new Unicorn Gundam. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. It's exciting though. I wasn't expecting them to have another 1-to-1 scale Gundam until 2019 for the 40th anniversary at that time. So it was quite a shock to know that that's coming later this year. Also later this year, they're also going to be reopening the Gundam Front Tokyo Exhibition Center as the Gundam Base Tokyo. Now, the Gundam Base is a store that already exists here in Korea. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them here in Korea, and I saw online in another country too also has at least one of them. But now that name of the Gundam Base is actually, now they're going to be opening one in Japan there in Tokyo, and it's going to be like obviously the main kind of store there. And so what it is it's going to have a lot of stuff. So it's going to have the full shop, of course. So it's going to have a very large and well-stocked shop of goods. It's going to have the Gunpla Builders Workspace Room. So I'm guessing what that is just going to be like a space for people to build their kits there. They'll probably have like nippers and stuff that you can use just there on hand. I don't know what else is really going to be involved with that, but they're going to have that. They're also going to have a renewed showroom for all the kits. So like that room where they have all the model kits from the beginning to now, like all the model kits there in like a museum kind of format. They're going to have a new setup for that. It's probably going to be expanded, of course, because that's ever growing. It's also going to have a Gunpla factory set up there by the Bandai Hobby Center. So the Bandai Hobby Center is located in Yokohama, I believe, or anyway, it's not in Tokyo. It's a little bit south from there. But I guess there, from the Bandai Center, they're going to be maybe moving one of the machines, or maybe just setting up a new machine there in the Gundam base, and where it'll be showing like the process there, so you actually be able to see the molding machines, I guess, like there. You'll be able to see the process of there. They also will show off some Gunpla prototypes, and some new announcements of new Gunpla will be made there occasionally, apparently. So it'll be really cool. And there's also going to be more limited merchandise, of course. So we'll be looking forward to all of that. Later in the summer, the Gundam base is going to be opening later this summer, just a few months from now, and then the Unicorn Gundam will be up later in the fall. So that's like the big news for this month. Just another thing, the Master Archive for the Mobile Suit MS-06 Zaku 2 is going to be out in March. This is a book. We occasionally get these kind of like special books out, so I just like to mention this to you guys. This I know is up on HLJ. You can pre-order this now already, I believe, unless it's out. I know it's out this month in March, so I think it's not out yet though, maybe towards the end of the month. But anyway, these Master Archive books are really, really nice, especially if you want to see like some really detailed like illustrations of the Zaku and stuff. So that's going to be 2,800 yen. Not too bad for that. And then the last thing for the news here, I just want to talk to you guys about the schedule for the live shows that I'm involved with for this month. So Gunpla Talk this month is going to be on a Saturday, March 18th, and that's 6 p.m. for you guys there in New York on the East Coast in the USA. For me here in Korea, that's 8 a.m. on Sunday, the 19th. So that weekend is when we'll have the next Gunpla Talk. Of course, you can follow our Facebook page there to stay updated on that. And then also G-Check, the show that I do with Josh. That is going to be March 26th. That's going to be Sunday evening. So we do that kind of at night, our time in the world. So like in the US, North America, that'll be Sunday morning for you guys there, March 26th. And then my next builder interview. So that's my builder interview series where I'm interviewing some really awesome modelers. The next one is going to be Friday, March 24th. So Friday, March 24th, that will be, for the US people, that'll be your evening. For me, that'll be Saturday morning, the 25th. So the 25th on Saturday morning, I'll be doing my interview. And this month's interview is going to be with Clement Eng. Some of you guys, I should hope that you guys are all familiar with Clem. Clem is a member of those Gundam guys. He has his website there, Gamera Banrei. We've talked about it a lot on Gunpla Talk. He's been on Gunpla Talk there before as well, I'm sure. And he's just been a huge contributor to the community for years. So he's a really awesome organizer and great resource there. So I'm really looking forward to talking with him one-on-one. Of course, we'll do that interview like we normally do. And then there'll also be time for you guys to ask questions live if you're watching that live. So definitely stay tuned to my Facebook page. Follow my Facebook page to stay updated for that. All right, now we can get into the announcements this month. There was really not, like I said, a whole lot of announcements for Gunpla stuff, but there is a lot of like figure kind of stuff that was announced. So I'll go through this. There was an announcement for a metal build, 00 Gundam 7 Swords G. This is going to be out in July for 20,000 yen. So it's the 7 Swords Gundam, and of course you can do a whole lot of stuff with that, with the huge cannon gun thing that it has, and the huge sword that it has, and then it has some really awesome markings all over it, so that's all just like, it's pre-decaled, it's just a figure, right? So all the decals and all of that are just already on there. And so it's just a really super nice metal build figure there. That is quite expensive though, so I don't know. But for those people who like metal build stuff, there's that coming out. There's also going to be the metal build Gundam Astray Red Frame Kai out in September for 23,000 yen, so quite expensive for this one too. We've been getting quite a few different versions of the metal build. We have the metal build Astray Red Frame, and then the flight unit for the red frame, and then the full weapons blue frame, and then the 150 Gerbera thing there. That's, I don't know, we've just got loads of metal build Astray stuff. So next is the Astray Red Frame Kai. Then a couple of P Bandai SD things. This is the P Bandai SDX Holy Knight Wing Gundam out in May for 11,000 yen. So this is a figure, not an actual kit. As you can tell by the price tag, 11,000 yen is quite a lot. No SD kit would ever cost that much, I can't imagine. But in this figure, it's just a really nice looking pre-painted figure. It has a kind of like half Knight Gundam, half Wing Gundam sort of design there. I'm sure there's some of you guys who do actually keep up with like SD games and manga and stuff like that. Maybe you guys probably know more about this than I do. It also comes with like some fire effect parts for like the sword. It has a head of like Hero Yui you can put on there. If you like have the mask, like the Gundam head off, it has just the head of Hero, which is kind of interesting. So there's that, and there's also going to be the P Bandai SD Gundam Gaiden Armored Knight Hero Yui and Angel Princess Relina. This is going to be out in June for 8,100 yen, so 8,100 yen for this set of them. And also just figures here, and then like these are stylized and sort of similar to that SD Gundam, and you can like, the whole thing is that like if you buy both of them, you can have them all like posed together like that, and it looks really cool. If you're a fan of Gundam Wing and SD Gundams, then that's definitely something that might be interesting for you. We had the announcement of the next Edge style Gundam. It's the Next Edge style Gundam Exia out in July for 3,000 yen. This one, of course, comes with everything you'd expect for an Exia. It has like beam effect parts for the beam sabers, and then just like the big sword and shield and all of that. The really cool thing about this that I noticed here is that they've designed it in a way that if you shine a light from behind it, the light is channeled through the eyes and the GN drives so that like those parts light up. So without having to use an LED unit, you just have to pose it in a way that you have a light shining through the back of it. And it does come with a stand, of course. You can set it up on a stand and like doing its kind of like pose there, and then shining the light through it, and it'll look like it's all lit up, which is really cool. So that looks pretty interesting. I know there's a lot of Exia fans out there, so that should be pretty nice. You gotta have, of course, some way to pipe the light through it, but if you can set that up, it'll be looking pretty nice. There's also a P Bandai Gundam Standard XS Gundam out in July for 4,500 yen. Now, I'm a little bit confused about this because I was pretty sure that there was already a like Gundam Standard XS Gundam, but maybe that was just a standard release one. This one is a little bit different. I know just the coloring is different, and also like the base is different. So I'm guessing this is just a little bit different kind of variation of that, but it does look very familiar as the XS, the standard Standard XS Gundam that we had out before. But anyway, 4,500 yen is quite a lot for a kind of figure probably like this tall. It's not really all that big. It's smaller than the HG kit, of course. But the nice thing, I think the nice thing about that is that the proportions are really good on that. Like all the proportions look really accurate to how they should be, which is better than the HGUC version. So that's nice. And of course it's all pre-painted and stuff, so if you're the kind of person who doesn't paint, but you want like just a really super nice and smaller XS Gundam, and maybe you don't want to buy like the more than $100 version in like the Robot Damashi. I think it was like the Robot Damashi version that just came out recently. This is a cheaper, smaller version that I think looks really, really nice, so you could definitely check that out. Then some new Gundam Converge stuff coming out. The Gundam Converge series number 7 will be out in June for 5,400 yen. That's for a box of 10 of them, 5,400 yen. So around 500 yen or so each. This is including the Zeta Gundam, the Hyakushiki, the Death Scythe Hell EW, or the Death Scythe Hell Custom, the Cubile and the Cubile Mark II, and the Gundam Mark V. So super happy about the Gundam Mark V, so I immediately pre-ordered this set just because of that. Some of the other ones I like as well. As you guys may know, I'm not really that big of a fan of the Zeta Gundam, to be honest. The Hyakushiki and the Death Scythe Hell look cool. The Cubiles look awesome. Actually, just today, my friend Alex, good friend Alex, just recently went on a trip to Japan and brought this back for me. So I'll be doing a video probably up next, probably the next video you guys see of like unboxing and showing this is a Converge Cubile set of the Cubile, 2 different versions of the Mark II and the mass production Cubile. But that red version and the red version in this new set are actually a little bit different, so that'll be interesting to compare those when this set comes in. Then there's also the Gundam Converge EX16 Shambolo. So this is also out in June for 3,200 yen, so that's 3,200 yen for just this one thing. It's quite a lot for a Converge figure, but it's quite large. According to the HLJ website, it's going to be about 19 centimeters long, so it's like quite large. So I have a couple of like larger Converge figures, and like they're usually really nice sets, so I pre-ordered this one as well. I'm actually not that big of a fan of the design of the Shambolo, but I think this will be really cool just to add to my Converge collection, and I'm looking forward to, of course, like doing some detailing on it, filling the panel lines and putting some water slide decals on there. With it being so large, there'll be plenty of room to add some water slides on it and things like that. So I think once it's all like detailed up, it'll be really, really cool. And I don't expect we're going to get any other kit form like in HGUC even, or even an SD or something like that of this kit out anytime soon. So I'll just do a little bit of work on the Converge figure. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be cool. Then there's also going to be a P Bandai Mobile Suit Ensemble EX02 Kshatriya. So this is like a kind of Gashapon kind of series that Bandai has going now. And they kind of like focus a lot on just being able to mix and match a lot of like different weapons and things like that from the different releases. This is going to be out in July for 3,500 yen. So this unit is just coming with the Kshatriya, and it comes with like a set of like 4 twin beam Gatling guns, like what the Unicorn Gundam uses. This has 4 double sets, like 8 beam Gatling guns there, but they're just like one thing, you can't separate them. It also has a few, I think it had like 4 effect parts for funnels flying out as well. So it looks pretty nice. I think maybe not as nice probably as the Assault Kingdom Kshatriya, and I think the Assault Kingdom Kshatriya maybe costs around the same amount. Like if I had to go for one or the other, I would definitely go for the Assault Kingdom one. This one, of course, obviously has that a little bit more like SD proportions, and it just has a little bit kind of different look to it. So if that's something you're interested, it is a P Bandai item though, so it is probably going to be a little bit harder to get. But then just a few more P Bandai things. These are actual like Gundam kits now. We can finally get into the kits. The P Bandai HG Iron Blood Orphans Gundam Flaros Calamity War Type. This was announced right like at the beginning or like middle of February or something. So this has been announced for a little while. This is just coming out in April for 1,600 yen, and all it is basically the Flaros Gundam, but it's in just all white and blue. It's that white and blue color scheme. I actually really prefer this color scheme. I think that it looks really good. So whenever I get around to painting mine, I'll probably paint it like that. I think that looks pretty good. This also comes with some parts from option set 7, I believe it was. Option set that includes the short cannons for the backpack and the assault knives. So what you can actually do is plug the assault knives onto the backpack, which is really cool, which I didn't actually notice that when I reviewed that set, but you can do that. If you just like remove the rifles on the side of the backpack, you can just plug the assault knives onto there. So that's kind of cool. And then it also includes the open hands from that set. The open hands from that set are actually meant for the Vidar, but you can use them for the Flaros as well. So that looks like, of course, a cool kit, but you can just make that yourself if you just buy the Flaros and the option set and then just paint it. And there you go. Next thing is the P-Bandai HGUC Gelgoog Unicorn version. So this is going to be out in May for 1,700 yen. This is just an HGUC standard Gelgoog, but it looks like it's going to have new parts. I think maybe that gun, the beam machine gun, which I believe is new. I don't think I've ever seen that weapon before. And then of course it's going to have some new parts for the arms, for making the sleeves parts for the arm. It does have like a sleeves logo on the chest, but I'm sure that's probably going to be a sticker. I'm sure that's not going to be a separate molded part, unfortunately. And it's just obviously molded in just different colors. So that's kind of the main thing. Not really too much really exciting about that. There's also going to be a P-Bandai HGUC Zaku 2 Kai B-type unicorn version. So this is also out in May for 1,400 yen. So these are just basically sleeves kits from Unicorn. This Zaku 2 though, not really a whole lot different. This is basically the HGUC Zaku 2 FZ kit, and it, from what I can tell, aside from some color differences, the only thing really different about this is that this comes with a bazooka, where the normal kit doesn't come with a bazooka. So again, not really too much special about that, I think, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's some more different parts in there that I just can't notice, but as far as I can tell, that's all it is really. Then of course the big kit announcement was, we finally got the official announcement for a Master Grade Justice Gundam. It's going to be out in June. We don't have a price set for this, but I'd imagine probably 4,500 yen would be my guess, is how much this is going to cost, similar to the Freedom 2.0. So we saw this kind of in the Gunpla Expo in November. That wasn't the actual kit, so this does actually look different from that. That was just like a custom build that we saw at the Expo in November, but I think it's pretty obvious that Bandai wanted to show that to kind of test how people's reactions were to that, and I guess the reactions were good enough that they decided to push through with the kit. So this is going to be out in June. Some people were asking like, oh, so that the full armor like the Double Zeta Gundam Verka, is that going to be out before the Justice or after the Justice? I would say the Double Zeta Verka is probably going to be our December release kit, because Verka kits usually come out in December, aside from the full armor Gundam last year. And obviously the Double Zeta is a relatively big Gundam, so a bigger kit like that, and Master Grade Verka, is probably going to be our December kit. This kit is going to be out in June. We don't really have too much information about it. Like I said, we've only seen it just on display this weekend, and we can see it is looking pretty good. Obviously, it is going to be using some parts from the Freedom Gundam 2.0. They're most likely using the same exact frame from the Freedom 2.0. But it looks pretty cool. And I know obviously the MG Justice is something that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time, so I'm sure you guys are pretty happy about that. A couple more things here. HG Build Fighters Gundam Schwartz Ritter. This is out in May for 2,000 yen. This is kind of interesting. My initial reaction was no thanks, but then I was kind of okay with it. And now that the more I look at it, I feel like this is, for me, very similar to the Luna Gazer Gundam, where like leading up to the release of the Luna Gazer Gundam, I was not a fan of the design at all. And just the kit just didn't look good. But then once I was actually able to work with it, and then I was like much more pleased with it. So basically, this is like a variation of the Cathedral Gundam, which was a variation of the Denial Gundam. But this is definitely much closer to the Cathedral Gundam, and it has that cool backpack, and the two parts of the backpack are going to be able to form a big, huge, like mega Buster Sword thing. And one thing that I think is really cool about the design is the visor that it has. It's kind of hard to see in the images that we've seen, because we haven't really gotten to like good photos of that, but it does have this really cool visor that I think looks really good with the overall look of the kit. So while I don't really like the black and gold color scheme, I think the design looks good. That after I paint it in some different colors, I think it'll be a pretty cool looking kit. So I'm cautiously optimistic about that kit, so I'm kind of looking forward to that actually. And the last new announcement here is, of course, a couple more petit'gguys, because why not? So we have two new HG petit'gguys that were announced, the Primer Gray and Placard, and Rusty Orange and Placard. So these are two that are even coming with the exact same accessory, but they're molded in different colors. So one is in just like gray and gray, which will kind of actually probably match the Papa Guy really well. And then the Rusty Orange, which is just like kind of like light orange color. So I think they look cool, and obviously the placard that they're holding, as we've seen so far, I don't know, I'm sure that's probably going to come with some sort of sticker to put on there. I don't know, I can't imagine what that would be, but I think this will definitely be open for a lot of customization of what people are going to put on that placard. There's obviously It's going to be really funny to see what kind of stuff people start putting on there when these come out. But these will be out in May, again, for 540 yen each, so 550 yen, I guess, probably. 540, I forget what that is, but anyway. So that's it for all the new announcements. There was a teaser image for possibly 2 more HG Armed Blood Orphans kits going to be coming out that are from the manga side story, from the Gecko manga side story. One of the teaser images looks like possibly another variation of the Astaroth, kind of hard to tell. And the other one definitely looks like it is the Gundam Dandelion. So we've seen that. I think that appeared in like a game or something. So we do have a few more like images of that to know what that Gundam looks like, to be able to tell that that silhouette image that is definitely the Dandelion. That is a very unique looking Gundam. It's kind of similar to the Atlas Gundam, and it's like a very simple design. But then it also has like this big, huge backpack thing you can add onto it that also, I guess, like transforms into like these big arms for it. And it's like a pretty interesting design, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope that that kit is actually going to be coming out because I think that it looks pretty cool. All right, moving on into the updates. Now, I'm just going to kind of skim through the updates, and I'm only going to mention maybe a few things that we got some notable updates on. I won't go through everything like I normally do here. We did get some new images of the Robot Damashi Gundam XER Repair 2 and 3 part sets. So this is just parts. This is just a part set out in July for 6,000 yen that includes parts to make the XER Repair 2 and Repair 3. So you do have to have the original Robot Damashi Gundam XER first for that. But as we can see, we just got a whole bunch of images for that. There's more online. You can check those out if you're interested. Also got a bunch of new images for the Robot Spirits Full Armor O Gundam. From 00 series. This is a pretty gross looking Gundam, to be honest. I love the O Gundam, and I love the like the original Full Armor Gundam from like the UC timeline. But this mashup of the two of those, it just doesn't really work for me, to be honest. But anyway, this is also out in July, also for 6,000 yen. So it's kind of interesting that this like full set, full like the Gundam and the armor are there, all cost the same amount as the Exia just parts set. It's kind of funny, but assuming that I'm reading that correctly, that is true. And just a reminder that out in April, we've got 2 different P-Bandai HGUC kits coming out. That is the HGUC Dom Troppen Unicorn version and the HGUC Jagan Echoes type Conroy use. So these are 2, again, just more Unicorn variation HGUC kits, where like the Dom, all that's really different is that it comes with new parts for making the hand that holds the grenades. The Jagan has, I think, like a couple new parts in there as well. Yet another P-Bandai HG Jagan to come out. Those are 1,800 yen each, again out in April, so next month. As far as the Master Grade Double Zeta Gundam Verka, we still haven't really seen too much about that. We did see these kind of new images that are showing like kind of like a resin, like a clear resin kind of prototype cast for that, where it's kind of really hard to see anything in really too much detail. And there's probably just not too much detail there. But we can sort of get a sense of the proportions, but again, I feel like it's still just kind of really hard to see, to get too much of an idea about the kit just from that, but we did sort of get some new images anyway. One thing that I just want to say I'm really disappointed about is that in the Gunpla Expo that's been on this past weekend, we did not see anything new about the next RE100 kit. So as far as we know, the next RE100 kit is still supposed to be the Hama Hama, which that was never actually confirmed, but we could pretty much tell that from the images before, but still no news about that. So I don't know, the RE100 line so far of 2017, we're now halfway through March, and we haven't seen anything about the RE100 line at all. So that is discouraging, but hopefully we'll get some more news about that very soon. We got some images of the HG Armed Blood Orphans Gundam Vual, I don't know how that's pronounced, Vual. This is going to be out in April for 1,400 yen. Looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to this one. A super unique design. It's got some very interesting weapons, as you'd expect from an Armed Blood Orphans kit. It's quite a stark difference, though, when you look at the images of what the kit looks like painted and what the kit looks like unpainted. So definitely going to be a lot of painting required for this kit to get it looking color accurate. But the design is there, and so I'm looking forward to this. It has a very cool, obviously, asymmetrical design, even in the legs, so it's kind of similar to like the Gundam Astaroth had, where it was asymmetrical like that. I really love the design of the head of this, really quite unique. head design on this Gundam, so I think it'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And we don't often see like a very black mobile suit kit Gundam or anything come out very often, so that'll be interesting. We got a little bit more taste of the HG Land Battle Gundam S-Type Thunderbolt version. So this was the other kit that was shown before at the Gunpla Expo last November, alongside the Atlas Gundam. We're finally getting some more images of this. This is also going to be out in May for 1,800 yen. Still not really seeing too much really about it, and not seeing it in color yet, but we can just see some nice full images of this, and it looks very cool. I'm really looking forward to this. So it's just a land battle Gundam, so I'm guessing just basically just like a ground type Gundam. This S-type Thunderbolt version of that. So looking forward to that, but again, at the moment we don't really have too much more new about it. The HG Accelerate Evolution Zeta Gundam is out in April for 1,800 yen. This was previously called the Accelerate Evolution, but now it seems like they've changed the name to Gunpla Evolution Project. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this is basically just a revived Zeta Gundam. They've seemed to have dropped the revive name and now adopted this new name that apparently they're going to be keeping up this name until 2019, until the 40th anniversary, it seems like, according to some of the promotional images they've shown off. So what other Gunpla we get out in this new revive line, I don't know. It's going to be starting with the Zeta Gundam. One thing that we were all wondering is this going to be like a fully transformable HG Zeta Gundam? It looks like it's not going to be. It is still going to be a parts former, unfortunately. It doesn't really bother me. I'm totally fine with that, but I know some people were wanting like a fully transformable kit. Looks like your wait will continue, at least for the HG line anyway. But it does look like a nice kit, so you know, for fans of the Zeta Gundam, you'll have a really nice new revived Zeta Gundam. There you go. There's also we did finally get some new images of the Barzam as well. The HGUC Barzam is going to be out in May for 1,500 yen. This is looking really cool. The Barzam is not a design that I really like that much, but some of the new images and everything are making me a little bit more interested in it, and it does actually look pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more about that. And of course, May will be here before we know it, and then I'll finally get to take a look at a new HGUC kit. We haven't, I guess we had a new HGUC kit last month or in January, but it'll be a little bit of a gap between the ground type GM and the Barzam. So that was pretty much it on like notable updates on stuff. I can now move into some third-party news. We did get an announcement of a Master Grade Death Scythe Hell TV version from Dragon Momoko. So Dragon Momoko finally, thankfully, branching out from the Seed series, now getting into the Wing series, and making their version of the Death Scythe Hell. This is out later this month. The pre-order price, I believe you can still pre-order it at the moment. For the pre-order price is $22, very cheap. And then later, if you get it after its release, the price is $26. So even that, $26 for a Master Grade kit is obviously very cheap. Of course, you still have to pay the shipping and all of that, but with the Dragon Momoko kit, you're getting the kit and you also get like water slides and all the detail that's involved with the kit. It looks like a very detailed kit, and it also is coming with some really cool accessories, of course, like beam weapon accessories. I saw like for the actual scythe, it comes with just a straight handle. It also comes with a separate handle, which is like a curved handle, so you can like recreate the effect of it, like really swinging that, and it gives you that like dynamic curved shape of the handle. So it looks like a cool kit. I'm still kind of on the fence about whether I want to actually buy it or not. I like the Death Scythe Hell design. Most of the kit looks pretty good, but there's some parts of the kit for me that just I'm still just not really too into, especially the hands. Especially if you take a look at the hands, and I think it's kind of really hard to see them because most of the time you're just looking at this crazy design and then just these like really crazy weapons. So it's kind of hard to notice the hands, but if you do look at the hands, they look strange. So not really too excited about those. And there's a couple more aspects of the kit that just have me kind of thinking like, I don't know. But my experience thus far with Dragon Momoko and their recent kit, when I painted up the Strike Noir last year, I thought it was quite nice. So I'm not too worried about the quality of the kit. I'm sure the quality would be good. Just don't know about that. But then keeping up with the Master Grade Wing, there's also going to be a Master Grade Nataku coming out from Supernova. I think I mentioned this last month, but just want to follow up because we do have some more images of this. This is going to be out in April. The pre-order price is $30, and then the just standard price after its release is going to be $35, so a little bit more for this one. But I think it's really interesting how the style of this looks very similar to Dragon Momoko's Death Scythe Hell. So it's quite interesting that two different third-party companies are releasing master grade wing kits of a very sort of similar design style, and a very just 1 month apart. It's interesting indeed. I don't know if that really means anything, but yeah, I don't know. This one, all as cool as it does look, I probably definitely maybe will not be getting this one. Just because it's just not a design that I think I like enough that I really want to put in the work to it. One thing that looks interesting though is like as we can see from some images that we've seen of it so far, the red parts for like the long like dragon arm things, the red parts are packaged in like a separate little bag of individual parts. So I'm wondering if those little red parts are actually metal parts, just painted red. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any actual information about that, but just by the fact that those red parts aren't on plastic runners, they're just already separate pieces, makes me think that they might be metal. That would also maybe help with the stability of the arms. I don't know. I would think like the inner part being metal would be better, but I'm not sure about that. So that's kind of interesting. I'm interested to see what's actually going on with that. We did also get some new images of the super deformed master grade RX-782 Gundam from Sun Toys. This is again something I mentioned before. This one, as far as I've seen, is still supposed to be out in June. And it's just sort of like a master grade style where it does have a full inner frame and all the details and all that, but it's more like SD proportions. So it's an interesting looking kit, and this one also going to be coming with some pretty cool effect parts and things like that. So there's that. We did get some new images from the Motor King project of what appears to be a 1/100 scale Dom. We're not really seeing too much more about this, but we can just see a few more like work in progress photos as this kit seems to be coming on along a little bit. And it appears to be a 1/100 scale Dom. It looks, so far from what we've seen of it, very, very similar to the Orazaku Dom that was the winner of the Orazaku contest. This is a contest that's like put on by a magazine in Japan every year. I think that was 2 years ago that this was the winner. So if this is just like they're just remaking that kit as like a just full plastic kit, not really too cool with that, because that's like taking some like an artist's custom project. And I know like when third-party companies or bootleg companies are just copying Bandai's product, that's obviously stealing from Bandai, but like to steal from like one modeler in particular that made that design, I think is, I don't know if I'm really cool with that. So I don't know. We'll see. From so far, it just looks like very similar. We'll have to see as we see more images of that coming out if that is really close to that. And the last thing here is that we did see some more images related to the 100 scale metal build style Kshatriya from Steel Legend. They released like a promo video out about that, and it looks kind of interesting. I still just hate the head design of that so much that totally draws me off, not interested in that kit at all just because of that head. But I know people love a 100 scale Kshatriya, and so far the only thing that's been out is the Ellen kit, which is now really, really hard to find and very expensive. So I don't know, we'll have to see more about this as this is coming out, but the fact that they released this new promo video about it does seem to be that this is still in the works and will maybe be coming out maybe later this year. So if you're wanting a metal build styled 100 scale Kshatriya, then stay tuned. I guess we'll see some more news about that a little bit later. So that's it for the third party stuff. Now I just want to wrap this up with features as usual. This month I'm only going to do just one feature kit though, because this episode has already gone on long enough, even though this is a light episode and I tried to keep it as light as possible. I did just want to include at least one featured kit for you guys. So this is an HG Iron Blood Orphans Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex, just because this was just recently released, and I've featured, I think probably every different version of the Barbatos. I think I've featured in one way or the other over the past year or so, right? So wanted to feature a Barbatos Lupus Rex as well. This is by Itta. And you can check out the link below to see the images on the Modelers G page there. what I like about this is that it's not like customized or anything at all, but the colors are really good. And in terms of what he's done for the colors, he's just changed some of the colors to black. So like, for example, the yellow for the toes and the yellow for the blade on the tail, he's just changed to black. Some other parts like the fingers, he changed from yellow, he changed to white. There should be yellow, he changed them to white. So he's just done a little bit of like changing some of the colors, and I think it really looks a lot better in my opinion. So I'm really gonna pay attention to this. Whenever I get around to painting mine, I might take some of these ideas in terms of painting mine, how I want to paint some of those colors. I think it looks great. Another reason why I wanted to feature this is because the posing is really good. So like a couple of these poses here look super cool. Especially, I really like the one where it's like bent over like that, and the tail is like going over his head. Really, really cool pose. So it just goes to show that like you can build up and paint up like this really awesome kit, but then what takes it to an even higher level, I think, is when you can do some really cool poses with it. So if you have like this really beautifully painted thing and it's just like standing in it like that, like you can admire that and like it looks really cool, but then like it looks better, even better, if you can have it in some really cool pose like that. So he's done some really cool posing here, which I really appreciate. Also, just aside from like the really nice clean paint job, he's got some great decal work on there as well. A lot of decals. Some are like custom decals, like specifically for the Barbatos, like Tekkaden logos and like that. And then just like all these other standard caution markings and everything like that. Just decals are all done really nicely on that. So overall, it's just a really nice looking Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. So definitely check that out in the link below if you're interested to see more about that. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. And next month I'll have the full episode of, I'll have it separated into the 5 parts like that. I'll have more featured kits and all of that for you guys. That's it for this month's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions or comments about any of that stuff, leave those down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.